Start of year is where most people lose the year without even realizing it. They don't fail loudly. There's no big mistake, no dramatic collapse. It happens quietly. Motivation fades, bills arrive faster than expected, and suddenly January feels heavier than it should. But here's the part nobody tells you. At the start of year is also the month that can quietly save the entire year. Same month, same situation, completely different outcome. And the difference has nothing to do with discipline, budgeting apps, or willpower. Most people think at start of year is about fixing December, fixing spending, fixing mistakes, fixing bad habits. But that mindset is exactly why at start of year keeps people stuck. Start of year doesn't punish you for December. Start of year reveals what was already fragile long before the holidays even started. Every year, the advice sounds identical. Budget harder, spend less, cancel subscriptions, be more disciplined. And for a moment, it feels good. Restriction feels like control. Cutting feels responsible. You feel like you're finally doing something right. But that feeling never lasts because restriction isn't a system. It's pressure. And pressure always breaks. Most people don't struggle financially in January because they're irresponsible. They struggle because their financial life has no margin. Margin is the space between what you earn and what your life demands. When that space disappears, every normal expense feels dangerous. A bill isn't just a bill, it's a threat. A delay isn't just inconvenient, it's a crisis. That's why January feels overwhelming, not because you spent too much, but because there's no room left to breathe. Think about how January actually begins. Rent or mortgage shows up immediately. Credit card statements arrive with numbers that feel heavier than expected. Subscriptions renew quietly in the background. Insurance, utilities, groceries, none of it pauses just because the holidays ended. Life resumes at full speed, but your money hasn't recovered. When income is already fully assigned, even small disruptions feel catastrophic. That's fragility. The traditional January reset makes this worse. People respond by cutting everything at once. No flexibility, no margin, no room for error. The plan only works if life behaves perfectly, but life never does. A car repair, a medical bill, a delayed paycheck, an unexpected obligation, and the entire plan collapses. Now, January doesn't feel like a financial problem. It feels like personal failure. That's where the cycle becomes dangerous. People internalize the problem. They assume they weren't strict enough, disciplined enough, or smart enough. So they try again, tighter, harsher, more restrictive. But the issue isn't effort, it's structure. A system that depends on perfection isn't a system, it's a trap. Here's what most people miss. January is not the month to optimize your finances. It's the month to stabilize them. Stability comes before growth, before saving, before investing, before goals. If your monthly life is unstable, everything else becomes noise. January isn't asking you to do more, it's asking you to stop pretending everything is fine. The real January reset starts with a question most people avoid because it's uncomfortable. How fragile is my month? Not how much money do I want to save, not what my goals are for the year, but how easily does everything fall apart if something goes wrong? That question changes the entire focus of January, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. January planning usually fails because people confuse control with flexibility. They try to design a perfect month, not a survivable one. Perfect plans look good on paper, but they collapse in real life. Flexibility is what keeps plans alive when reality interrupts. A real reset doesn't assume things will go right, it prepares when they don't. This is why January shouldn't be about aggressive goals. It should be about removing fragility. Fragility is what turns small problems into emotional disasters. When there's no margin, every decision feels urgent. Urgency is dangerous because it forces shortcuts. People borrow to survive, delay important payments, or avoid looking at the numbers entirely. That's not because they're careless, it's because their system leaves no room for error. Another mistake people make in January is turning it into punishment. December becomes something to pay for. No enjoyment, no flexibility, no grace. But punishment doesn't build understanding, it builds resentment. December didn't ruin your finances. December revealed patterns. It showed where spending spikes, where expectations break, and where reality doesn't match planning. That information is valuable. Ignoring it is the real loss. The January reset isn't about pretending those patterns won't happen again. It's about preparing for them. Life repeats itself. Expenses don't disappear just because you want a fresh start. The reset works when you stop fighting reality and start designing around it. That's the difference between control and structure. When people get this wrong, the year feels heavy from the start. Every month begins with stress. Decisions are reactive. Money feels like a constant emergency. But when people get the reset right, something subtle changes. Not wealth, not abundance, stability. Money stops feeling urgent. Choices feel calmer. Stress drops. Not because income suddenly increases, but because life becomes less fragile. This is why January matters more than any other month, not because it's special, but because it sets the tone. A fragile January creates a fragile year. A stable January creates breathing room, and breathing room is what allows better decisions.
The uncomfortable truth is that most people don't need more motivation. They need fewer pressure points. The reset isn't about doing more, it's about making life less brittle. When the system can absorb small shocks, progress becomes possible. Without that, every goal becomes another source of stress. January doesn't ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be honest. Honest about what breaks easily. Honest about where money disappears. Honest about what actually causes stress. That honesty is what turns January from a punishment into a foundation. This reset won't make you rich. It won't fix everything. It won't turn January into something exciting, but it will prevent the quiet collapse that most people experience throughout the year. January isn't about starting over. It's about starting stable. And stability is the advantage nobody talks about. If this video made you rethink January, you're not alone. Understanding how money actually works doesn't fix everything, but ignoring it almost guarantees more stress, more pressure, and the same cycle repeating year after year. If you found this useful, subscribe to this channel, Bank It Up. It really matters more than you think. These videos are about clarity, not hype, and the only way they reach more people is with your support. Like the video, share it with someone who feels stuck every January, and if you want to go deeper, we'll leave our latest video right here. It connects directly with this one, and it will help you understand the system even better. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.